What's up everybody, you best get mentally prepared because we're about to check out some top-notch Tamil cuisine in Madurai, India. So I was sprinting around the spiritual streets of Meenakshi Temple in downtown Madurai. I was soaking in the ancient vibes from this buck-wild 1,500-year-old temple, but after cruising and perusing around there for some time, truth be told, I felt like I needed something to eat. Mind you, I didn't want your average everyday chow. I wanted to try some top-notch Tamil cuisine in this mother. Now, Tamil people are pretty big on vegetarianism. I think it's because they try to minimize harm to other life forms. I don't know exactly. But even though I personally like to eat innocent animals, I figured I'd keep an open mind on this cuisine, and I figured I'd keep an open dick as well. So I boosted on inside this restaurant called College House and got myself a traditional Tamil breakfast. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but we've got a wide array of buck-wild food items on this plate, and personally, I think it's pretty nice. You might even say it's looking a tad carb-tastic, which is a-okay in my book, sweet cheeks. And aside from that Tamil plate, I also got myself a Dosa plate, because why the hell not? Anyway, I'll get to that later. First up, I figured I'd try out this Ven Pongal. So I got myself a nice spoonful of that and shoved it down my throat. And whoa baby, it tastes like a spiced up cream of wheat made from rice, if that makes any sense. Apparently the main ingredients are rice, ghee, and spices, and to me it tasted like a serious South Indian comfort food. You might even say it tastes like a pre-diabetes food, so I figured I'd try it with a little coconut chutney this time. Gotta give this bad boy some tropical vibes, and wow, just wow. It may sound trite, but that right there was a nice fucking bite. That coconut chutney was hitting the spot, so I figured I'd get myself a little more on deck. I started shoving that pongal down the hatch like a hunger-crazed heretical heathen. Now aside from that coconut chutney, I figured I'd try some of this sambar they got chillaxing on the side here. Sambar's like a lentil and vegetable-based stew, and it's pretty nice for dipping your carbs in. So I took myself a bite with that pongal, and oh, man. That right there was a match made in heaven, baby cakes. I mean, on the one side we got that sambar stew, and on the other we got that pongal with spices, and I could swear I tasted peppercorns and curry leaves in there. That's one zesty fucking breakfast right there, so let's see what else we got here. What in the world is this? I thought this was some kind of paste at first, but it's actually much more firm than I expected, so I took myself a bite and whoa baby. That was a tad sweet, so I think I should be eating that last, so let's move on to the next item. What we got here is a Medu Vada, aka an Indian fritter. So when I dipped that, some coconut chutney went flying out the dish, but I decided to move on with my life, so I took myself a bite and wow. It tastes like some kind of savory rice flour donut with random crunchiness inside. So I figured I'd best be giving it another dip into that chutney, and then I took myself yet another bite. So aside from the rice flour that this deep-fried fritter is made from, apparently there's also some lentils inside. I guess that explains the sort of whole grainy random crunchiness I'm getting from time to time. Anyway, I get the feeling that this vada on its own would not be anything special, but with this chutney and sambar thrown into the mix, it most definitely tastes buck wild. So now I got this puppy left over. It goes by the name of Kesari, and it's a popular sweet throughout India. So I took myself another bite, and I gotta say, this right here is my kinda sweet. It's made from semolina, ghee, and sugar, and it's not too sweet. So if I really wanted to, I could probably clear about 5 of these things without even flinching. So overall, that plate was pretty damn good, and I think I'd have to rate it a 4 out of 5 Hindu cows. I mean, it wasn't a perfect plate, but then again, it was pretty damn close, let's just put it that way. So next up, I figured I'd move on to that dosa that I ordered on the side over here. Mind you, this isn't just any old dosa, this right here is a butter dosa. Gotta get me some saturated fat into this diet over here. Anyway, I started digging into that dosa with 2 hands at a time, which is a classic rookie move. Basically, Hindus don't eat with their left hand, and here I just started this dosa and I'm already fucking it up. Nevertheless, I took a chunk of that dosa, dipped it into the tomato chutney, and then I took myself a mighty fine bite. And whoa baby, that dosa ain't tasting half bad. It's kinda like a crepe made from fermented rice flour, so it's got some serious sourdough vibes going down. Anyway, maybe the local people can rip this thing apart with one hand, but I sure as hell can't. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm doing my best over here, but try as I might, I keep using that left hand inadvertently. Maybe I need to practice my one-handed dosa ripping skills in front of a mirror or something. But hand faux pas aside, I gotta say that tomato chutney was tasting mighty fine. You gotta love the flavor of that sour dosa mixed in with that spiced up tomato action. So let's see what else we got around here. We got us even more coconut chutney, so I'll give that a dip. It seems to be the same coconut chutney as before, but this time with that sourdough dosa action. And after dipping that puppy and taking myself a bite, I gotta say, it tastes good, but I prefer that tomato chutney. I feel like that coconut chutney was a little bit more suitable for that previous plate I had, but for this dosa, that tomato chutney is where it's at. Then again, I am by no means a chutney expert, so you might want to take everything I say about chutneys with a grain of salt. I mean, if I were to be perfectly honest with myself right now, I'm not even completely sure if I could adequately define what a chutney is. But anyway, enough with that chutney chatter, now it's time for me to try some of that sambar with the dosa. And that was okay, but I think it was my least favorite dip. It was even farther down the totem pole than that coconut chutney. So overall, this dosa was pretty good, but I've had much better ones in my day, so I think I'm gonna have to rate this a 3 out of 5 Hindu cows. I mean, it was pretty good, but the texture was a bit more soft than I'm used to. I think I wanted it to be a tad more on the crunchy side, can ya blame me? So next up, I felt like I didn't quite hit my carb quotient for the day, so I got myself one more dish, just one more. What we got here is a little something I like to call Sambar Idli. Basically, it's a bowl of the sambar stew I was dealing with earlier, plus some idli action. What's an idli, you ask? Pretty much, idlis are fluffy steamed cakes that are made from rice flour and fermented lentils. They're pretty damn cheap, and you can either buy them on their own, or you can buy them smothered in sambar like I did right here. Now like the dosa, this has some sourdough flavors popping off. And what the hell's going on here? I'm trying to spoon up this chunk of idli, but the damn bowl keeps sliding all over the place, and wow, I actually got the idli, holy shit. That was a pretty monumental achievement if you ask me. Anyway, you get the drill. Overall, this idli was pretty good, but it wasn't quite as exciting as that first plate I had. I mean, I do like the fact that that idli is steamed, so it tastes kind of light compared to some of the other things I ate. But still, I'm feeling something missing from this bowl. I feel like there's a distinct lack of chutneys, to be exact. So overall, considering that lack of chutney, I think I'm gonna have to rate this bowl a 3 out of 5 Hindu cows. I mean, that was some pretty good breakfast grub right there, but I don't feel like my life has been changed, and I don't feel like my soul has been soothed. Nevertheless, the total price of all of these foods combined was 135 rupees. That's $2.10, so I guess I can't complain. Anyway, that's about all for this Indian food tour, but if you want to see more, then feel fucking free to check out my previous episode. I've got a video about Uttapam, and I got that link in the description box. So thanks for watching this video. Why don't you leave a comment?